for you and to win. So look forward to, do not stop 1 minute for the next week. Just keep telling all your friends, tell a few more than you told last time, and we're going to be all together for victory on election night. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Thanks for all that you do for the 10th and the entire Commonwealth and country. Folks, we have, we're so blessed to have someone who's a fighter for all of us in the House of Delegates. Someone from the 40th District, Tim Hugo, the House Majority Caucus Chair, a friend of taxpayers, and a fighter for our beliefs. Tim Hugo, folks. Oh my goodness, are you ready for
Tim Hugo.
We're going to start it here. We're going to take it into next tomorrow. We're going to take it into next week. We're going to take it started here with Marco Rubio. I was Marco's chairman when he was here, but I tell you what, Marco Rubio is going to tell you tonight. If you want to win, if you want to help Virginia, if you want to help the 10th District, you've got to elect Ed Gillespie. You've got to elect Jill Vogel, and you got to elect John Adams.
John Adams.
And I tell you what we're going to do too. We're going to give John Adams, and we're going to give Jill, and we're going to give Ed Gillespie. We're going to give them the team in Richmond that's going to help them get the things done that you want done. That you want done on taxes, that you want done on regulation, that you want done on roads. Because you've got to have a team. So we're going to give them another 66 members to go down there to do the right thing that you want done. Because the things that you believe in, we believe in the Constitution. We believe in all the things that are important. The Democrats, they want power. We want the things that we believe in to help our team, to help you, and to help our families.
Is this guy still alive?
And what we're going to do to win, we're going to take one guy who is a man who's got a great story. He's a guy that's come here from another country. He's a guy that's built a business. He's had his family. He's laid down roots here in Loudoun County because he knows this is a great place to live.
And who is he?
And he knows it's a great place to live. He knows it's a great place to work. He knows it's a great place to live and raise a family. And ladies and gentlemen, he knows it's a great place to have a victory next week. Ladies and gentlemen, the next delegate from this area right here, my friend, soon-to-be delegate, Suba Kola.
Oh, yeah, Suba.
Good evening, guys. I am Suba Kola. I am running as a delegate in 87th District. That is the place where we are here. I am the first Indian American ever running in the state of Virginia. In first quarter, I raised $285,000, the history created in 2 months. I outraised my opponent, so that is an indication that the hard work will pay off. My campaign knocked 35,000 doors. They are working very hard. I want everybody to support entire ticket. Ed Gillespie, Jill, and we have John Adams and other delegates in the region. We want to win. It is not possible without your support. The early voting, what we did over the weekend, tremendous response we got in Dallas Multipurpose Center. The opponent scared of that. And then he is trying to create negative ads on that. We are not going to back out. We are going to pull many more numbers for the voting. We need your support. He passed 0 bills. 0 bills he passed in the House of Delegates. He doesn't deserve anything to contest against me. I'm a first time guy. He is running 4th time. But he is scared of me since April. So that is where the hard work pays off. Again, thank you. Barbara Comstock is my inspiration. So in order for 10th district, we need to win 87th district for 10th district. This is a very close election. David Ramdan won with 51 votes and 187. The current guy won with 300 votes. It's very important. I need your support. Thank you very much.
Good evening. How y'all doing? Good. Another round of applause for Suba Cola. Just a great candidate for us.
Did he just say barbacoa?
Suba, keep up the good work. Yeah, 7 days. Keep up the good work. My name is Tom Greason. I'm a representative from the 32nd House District in the Virginia House of Delegates. Just a little bit west of here in Ashburn is where I live. I will tell you, I've been running as hard as all these guys for the last year, getting ourselves back to our strong majority in the Virginia House. In my campaign, we knocked on every door in our district 12 times.
12 times?
If you look
Oh, we
at
better not lose.
60 app, it says Newton Lee, which is one of my precincts, rotation 12. Because we've gone through and we've touched them all. We're in the mailbox every other day. We're on TV.
Come on, you guys.
We're going to do everything we can to hold on to this seat. But I'll tell you, my seat is just a small part of what we're doing here in Virginia. You see all the polls. You see what's happening. You see momentum with Jill and John and Ed. You see the Democrats outside. They're nervous. As a matter of fact, I think they might be scared because we are tightening these races and we're going to win all of these elections with your help. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, does he really? Did you meet
We
Rubio
have a
too?
lot of people who want to say a lot of great things to you tonight, but I have the distinct pleasure of introducing one of my favorite people in all of Virginia politics. You know him very well. He was our 67th governor. He told me today I could say 68, 69. You guys weren't keeping track. It could be our 67th, which it is. He was also in the U.S. Senate. His greatest attribute is his wife, Susan Allen. We all know Susan very, very well.
Yay.
And when George was our governor, he spent a lot of time on a lot of different things, but something true to my heart is education reform. And if you remember back when he was the governor, we didn't have great standards in Virginia. We had, a lot of people would say we had hobby teaching. And I didn't really know what that meant, but I'm going to tell you, and you'll know in an instant. Imagine a history teacher who loves the Civil War and spends 7 or 8 months talking about the Civil War. And then their students graduated, they don't know anything about Vietnam or Korea or World War I or World War II, but they know the Civil War and that's great. And this governor came in and said, that's not good enough. We got to do a better job preparing our children to go into the workforce, to be excellent workforce members here in the Commonwealth. And during his administration, we created 312,000 new jobs in Virginia. One of his greatest accomplishments as governor, for sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Governor Allen's taken time out of his schedule to come and help the ticket, to help me in my race. He's introduced me a dozen times at events over the years. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce you, Governor George Allen.
Is he really? Did you really? Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all ready to win?
Is he a short guy? No,
It is great to be here on behalf of Ed Gillespie's campaign for governor.
Oh, there he is.
Thanks for that very kind and generous introduction. And we're also here for Jill Vogel and John Adams. I have Thomas Jefferson's seat in the House of Delegates. And this is a Jeffersonian who's for John Adams for Virginia. Now look across. Back to office. All right, hang on there, Danielle. There's a lot of great folks who are here. And one of the things I think that unite us all is in a belief in the American dream. Marco Rubio embraces that with his parents from Cuba. Harold Payon's over here, originally from South Korea. Ed Gillespie loves to talk about his immigrant family from Ireland. Danielle Cortez from Mexico, Indian, all the different blood, and Luis Quinones from Central America. Danielle is going to be singing the national anthem on Veterans Day weekend for the Redskins.
You know what else unites us? Seal sucker suits.
And America has, and my mother came from North Africa, Tunisia. America is a land of opportunity. America is a place, and Virginia in particular, that is the cradle of American liberty. It's where we started. We're the cradle of American liberty. What makes America great are leaders with integrity and leaders with ideas to improve things, to reform things, to put forward initiatives. I like Marco Rubio a great deal because
When I met him, he was in the Speaker of the House in Florida, and he was looking at the 100 best ideas out of Florida. Ed Gillespie's running. He has the integrity, which is really important. He's going to keep his promises. Secondly, the other essentially, he's got really great ideas to make Virginia a more prosperous, more competitive state, a safer communities, better schools. All of that matters. You don't want people just running, saying, I just want a position. You want them to get in there and do something that improves opportunities for all people in all regions of Virginia. There's a lot of young folks here. It's your future that we care about, whether you went to Virginia Tech or whether you go to Mason or whether you go to Radford or wherever you may go to, Old Dominion, Patrick Henry. So, I'm just going to ask you some questions. It's like Geico questions. The answer to every one of these questions is Ed or Ed Gillespie, okay? First, when you look at what Ed's advocating on regulatory reform, people say, how can you reform all these regulations? When I was governor, and this was 20 years ago, we eliminated or amended 71% of the regulations in Virginia. And Ed is going to do the same thing because I guarantee you in the last 20 years there's much better ways of regulating, and some of the regulations I guarantee you are outdated. Ed's going to cut taxes. He's going to have prompt permitting. So the question is, in competition with other states, out of these two candidates, who can you trust to create more jobs for the people of Virginia and all parts of Virginia?
Ed Gillespie!
Now, on energy, we are blessed in Virginia with energy from our coal fields all the way to off our coast. People say up here, what does it matter? What does energy matter to us? Well, Barbara Comstock, when she put in the legislation to make Virginia more attractive for data centers, and here in Loudoun County, y'all are doing really great with attracting data centers. Guess what the biggest cost, the highest cost of running a data center is? Electricity. And so Ed, unlike his opponent, who's for all these Paris climate accords and all these regulations that would cause electricity costs to go way up, and that affects all sorts of businesses in our households, Ed wants to unleash the blessings of our energy resources. So for affordable electricity and fuel, who can we trust?
Ed Gillespie!
Tag talked about education. The best jobs go to the best prepared. It is important that our young people know how to read and write and speak the English language, learn higher levels of math and science, as well as history and economics. And we don't want to have social promotion. There needs to be accountability. So as a young person goes from grade to grade, you know they have mastered those subjects. And I think it's vitally important that we have a skilled, capable workforce. So on education quality in Virginia, who can we trust?
Ed Gillespie!
And then finally, there's a natural right of self-defense. It's embodied in the Second Amendment.
Sorry.
It's important we have safe communities. Businesses and families don't like to live in places where they worry about the safety of their employees or their families. Ed Gillespie's been endorsed by the Fraternal Order of Police. When I was running for governor, that was the most important endorsement, and it's important this year as well. He's been endorsed by over 65 sheriffs. And I assume the sheriff of Loudoun County too, since he's here. All right. And he doesn't want to take away your right to protect yourself and your families. So for safe communities, who can we trust?
Ed Gillespie!
So folks,
Yes?
we are in the 2-minute drill. Make sure you get these signs out. Get yard signs out. It's great to have in front of your house as folks are trick-or-treating. We have Lolita, she's running for delegate where we live around Mount Vernon, and of course Ed and Jill and John Adams, the signs. Make sure that people see that. Use social media. Make sure folks get out to vote. The world is controlled by those who show up. And everyone is watching the Commonwealth of Virginia. Let's make history in Virginia. Let's show the world that Virginians are standing strong for freedom and electing Ed Gillespie, Jill Bogle, and John Adams as our 3 leaders for our Commonwealth of Virginia. Let's go out there and win, team! Well, I'll wait till somebody gets up here for the next one. All right, here's Randy Minshew, a good scout from Loudoun County. Randy, you're on. Hey, George. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I know where you're going to be 7 days from tonight, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be doing that one last night before Election Day. And I can feel the momentum, I can feel the enthusiasm, I can feel the commitment to those Republican values and principles that bind us all. Now, I'm going to do some more, but before I do that, let me give a shout out to a man by the name of Jeff Dove over here. Now, he's from the 11th District, friend of Congress. And, ladies and gentlemen, even though I'm a proud resident of Virginia's 10th District, where I'm so proud to be represented by Barbara Comstock and before Frank Wolf, I've knocked doors in the 11th District, and I remember knocking doors for Tom Davis many moons ago. And Jeff, I can't wait to see you represent the citizens of the 11th Congressional District of Virginia. So Jeff Dove, looking forward to seeing you win next week. So I'm going to do a very quick confession, ladies and gentlemen. Very quick confession. I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm one of those lawyers
from
that talks about the Constitution and to the California. And ladies and gentlemen,
There he is.
in 8 days and a day,
Still
guess
alive.
what you got to do? You're going to be doing something that many people do. You're going to hire a lawyer. Now, raise your hand if you've ever hired a lawyer. Many of you have. Okay. Well, when you're hiring a lawyer,
I don't take
I'll
pictures
tell you
of
the
people in
things you
public.
do. What things you look for?
It's new tomorrow.
Long before you ask the lawyer his billing rate, you first say,
I'm just saying.
does this man or woman have integrity? Number 2, is this lawyer fundamentally committed to the rule of law? And 3, do they believe in the primacy of the Constitution? Now, if you ask a lawyer those 3 questions, you're probably going to hire a good person. So you can probably guess who I'm going to introduce. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to a man who has commitment to the rule of law and a belief in the primacy of the Constitution as part of their bone marrow. A great lawyer, a man who was clerk in the Supreme Court of the United States, a fundamentally strong conservative, working for justice and working for the 8 million citizens of Virginia, our next Attorney General, John Adams.
John Adams. Oh my gosh. Way to go. John Adams. Look at him. He's alive.
All right. I just want to know, do you guys feel it up there? Feel it? Started a couple weeks ago, right? As a candidate, I felt it. There was just this shift in momentum, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. First, I happen to think there's a person who traveled a long way to be with us here tonight, and you can't see him right now, but I think he's probably in the area. Let's give just a big, loud Virginia welcome to the senator who came to join us from Florida. Now, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's go. I want all my veterans to raise their hands. You're a veteran. I am a veteran. Hey, all my veterans, raise your hands. Let's hear it for the man who served this country. That's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. We live in the greatest country that ever graced the face of the earth. And we have earned the right of self-government. And that's what this is all about. That's why I'm running. Because the citizens of Virginia have a right to govern themselves in the way they see fit. And when we, the people of Virginia, decide through our elected leaders how we're going to govern ourselves, we have a right to have an attorney general that will defend the laws we pass and not pick and choose based on his own political agenda. Now, we also deserve to live safe in our communities. Our kids deserve to go to safe schools. We shouldn't have kids going to bed at night in unsafe neighborhoods, too afraid to sleep, too afraid to get a good night's sleep and get up and go to school the next day. And we need an attorney general that will focus on what matters, not a political agenda, but stopping this awful heroin opioid crisis, getting a handle on this violent crime increase we see all across Virginia. And that is why I'm running. We're going to be safer, and we're going to let the citizens of Virginia govern themselves. That's what we're going to do. You got it?
Got it.
Now, the campaign, you know, I mean, we're like what do you think, Governor? 7.5 days out, is that fair? In a few hours, all right? Who's counting? Everybody want the TV commercials to stop? Yeah. Believe me, nobody wants them to stop as much as Ms. Adams. All right? But people want to know how we're doing, so I'm going to tell you how we're doing. I'm going to give you a sense of it. As a candidate, it's always really personal, right? There's data and there's polls. We all know about polls. Okay? All you can do as a candidate is feel it with your gut. So I want to tell you just a couple quick stories from life on the trail. Okay? First of all, I'm at the state fair working the hot dog line. And when you're working the hot dog line, you never quite know what you're going to get. And I'm going just right down the line from person to person. And I say, you know, hi, I'm John Adams. Talk. Hi, I'm John Adams. Talk to him. And I get near the end, and I go up to this young woman, and I say, hi, I'm John Adams. And she goes, I know exactly who you are. When you're out campaigning, that's a tough second there. And she goes, I want you to know, I am a liberal, activist, female lawyer. And I have worked in the Attorney General's office, and I can't stand your platform, and I don't like your party. And that's why it is going to pain me to vote for you when I do on November 7th.
Whoa!
When she understood what the rule of law meant, she got it. So I just politely said, well, I'm not going to say anything else. I'll just take it and go along. She said, that's pretty fun. Right? I was on a radio show this morning, and the host said, you all are surging right now. You're surging in the polls. You're catching up. What do you attribute that to? And I really believe this. I said, people are starting to pay attention. And that's exactly what's happening, right? Busy Virginians, they got lives to lead. They were doing summer vacation. They were doing things over the summer. They got back. They wanted to watch the first few games of the World Series, right? Now they're paying attention. They got a week, and they started paying attention. And guess what they saw? They saw nothing from the other side. They saw nothing from the other side, and they saw our statewide ticket and our members of the House of Delegates running hard, showing up everywhere. Not just going to Republican events, going to big events all across Virginia, meeting with all Virginians, having ideas, putting them forward. I'm running against a guy who has been the Attorney General for 4 years. 4 years. And he has run an entirely negative campaign against me. All he does is run attack ads against me. What has he been doing for 4 years if he can't run an ad where he can look you in the eye through a camera and say, I've been your Attorney General, here's what I've accomplished for you, I'm asking to be reelected. He can't. He's got to attack a guy who's never run before. And the people of Virginia, no, listen here, the people of Virginia, you got to trust the people, right? You got to trust the people. And the people are starting to look, and they see what's going on, and they're making up their minds, and we are surging in the polls, and we are going to win this thing on November 7th, sailing through the finish line. That's what's about to happen. Now I want to say a couple words about my running mate, Ed Gillespie. Yeah. All right? I met Ed a long time ago. Unfortunately, it started to be a while. When we were in a Bush White House. And I was an associate counsel on the legal side, and he was there on the communications and policy side. And it was the first time I ever met him, and we worked on some things together. And I'll tell you this, he struck me as a person who was a good person who got things done. And so we stayed in touch through the years. And then, unbelievably, as fate has it, we end up running together. And I just want to share one thing with you about him. I wish you could see him when I see him. In sort of confidential type meetings where we're working on policy or we're meeting with people from the community to help develop policies. He is so committed to getting it right for Virginia. We would be so blessed to have this man as our next governor, so I want you to work tirelessly with me. We got 7 days to make sure that Virginia gets on the right track and moving forward when we elect the next governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Ed Gillespie.
Generation Plumbing, thank you for having us.
Yay! Woo!
And John, thank you for that incredibly kind introduction. More importantly, thank you for being a great running mate and a longtime friend. John Adams is going to be a fantastic Attorney General for the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I'll tell you why. Here's why, because he will actually enforce the laws that the General Assembly passes and the governor signs, not make up his own, and that's a good trait in an Attorney General. We need that. And Jill Vogel is going to be an incredible Lieutenant Governor for the people of the Commonwealth. She's an effective state senator as it is now, but she's going to be great as Lieutenant Governor, and on November 7th, we are going to make history by electing the first woman lieutenant governor in Virginia. And let me thank all of you for making time here tonight. I know how busy everyone is on a Monday night? Monday night.
Monday.
We're all pulling in so many different directions, and for so many people to make time to be with us here this evening, I truly appreciate. And it is clear you understand how important this election is, and you love our Commonwealth, and you want to get out there to make our Commonwealth grow and prosper and create opportunities for folks. And, you know, I know every 4 years you hear from the candidate for governor, and he or she says, you know, this is the most important election in our lifetime. This is the most important election in our lifetime. It really is. It really is. The stakes could not be higher and the choices could not be more clear. Because the fact is, we are stuck right now. And we've been stuck for 6 straight years in our economy. For 6 straight years, our economic growth rate has been below the national GDP rate. We used to always be above it, always leading, and now we are lagging. Our growth rate right now is 0.6%. And we are 39th out of 50 states in economic growth.
Ooh.
Our wage growth is 44th out of 50 states. Virginia, when it comes to economic growth and job creation and wage growth, we should be first in the country, and we can be with the right policies, but those are our policies. Nothing is going to change unless we change it. And we're going to stay stuck unless we get unstuck by winning this election in 8 days from tonight. Not that anybody's counting, 8 days from tonight. And we can make that difference by coming together like we have here and making sure that we get our friends and our neighbors and people we worship with, people we coach with, make sure they understand the stakes of this election as well and the choices. And the choices could not be more clear. Because the fact is, I have put forward 20 detailed, specific policy proposals. All of them designed, and they will, make life better for all Virginians. And I will be a governor for all Virginians.
Yes.
Bill and John and I will work with Tag and Tim Hugo, and who am I missing? I know Randy Ventura is here. Randy, I saw Randy on the way in. Sue Bacola will be a great delegate for us as well. Yeah. We're going to get things done. Right now, we have a governor who brags about having vetoed more bills than any governor in the history of Virginia. We've got a long history. I have never seen a governor in either party from any state brag about what he or she did not get done for the people they were elected to serve. I will get things done for us. I will get us on track. And these policies, these 20 detailed plans are in sharp contrast to my opponents, who's put forward very little policy, and the ones he has will not be good for us. And so we've got to create jobs and raise take-home pay and help people lift themselves out of poverty. We've got to make sure that our communities are safe. And I will work, by the way, with Sheriff Mike Chapman to help here in Loudoun County, and he does a great job making our communities safe.
Yeah!
The 65 sheriffs all across the Commonwealth who have endorsed me, as well as the Fraternal Order of Police and the Police Benevolent Association, I will make sure that we are creating these jobs. I'm proud to be endorsed by the Northern Virginia Chamber of Commerce and the NFIB of Virginia.
and I will make sure that we are improving our schools so that every child in the Commonwealth has access to a good, safe, quality public education. I'll fight for that every single day.
Every single day.
Woo! I'm not running to be our next governor because I want to be something. I've been very blessed in my life, and I've gotten to be a lot of things. I'm running to be our next governor because I want to do something. I want to do a lot of things, and all of those things have to do with making life better for all Virginians, and I know our policies will do that. And I just want to share with you, before I introduce our special guest here tonight, just a little bit about why it matters so much, because I truly believe that we are at a critical juncture here in the Commonwealth. This next election, a week from tomorrow, is not just about the next 4 days, it is about the next 30 years. Because the decisions our next governor makes will affect the future of Virginia for generations to come and what kind of an economy we are going to have. The fact is, at the end of the next governorship, Virginia is either going to look a lot more like states to our north, New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, with higher taxes and more regulations and mandates and compulsory unionism. They are all in the bottom half of states in economic growth, and each and every one of them is above us on that list right now. Or we're going to look more like states to our south, the Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, all in the top 20 states in economic growth, with dynamic economies and opportunities for their young people graduating from their high schools and colleges and universities. And we need to look more like that. Virginia is either going to become the northernmost southeastern state, or we're going to be the southernmost northeastern state.
No.
That's the decision we face, and I choose to be more like the sunny, dynamic economies to our south, not the rusty, stagnant economies to our north. Governor does not respond to the challenges we face as a Commonwealth with the right policies and a sense of urgency with which to get them implemented, we will fail our fellow Virginians. I have those policies. I have that sense of urgency, and I will not fail us. We will get this job done.
Yeah.
We will create opportunity and upward mobility. And upward mobility and opportunity for our children, our grandchildren, for these next generations is important to me because, as you know, and this is something I have in common with our guest here this evening, I am the proud son of an immigrant who was brought to this country as a child because his father, my grandfather, found work in America as a janitor, just like Senator Marco Rubio. My parents worked on their feet all day long in a grocery store. His parents worked on their feet all day long. His mother was a hotel maid. His father was a bartender. He, too, is the son of immigrants. We appreciate and understand the importance of the American dream because our families have seen it here firsthand. And we want to make sure that future generations and other families here in Virginia and Florida and all across the country have those same blessings of liberty. And he is such an effective leader for us in a number of different ways, on the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Intelligence Committee, helping to keep the people of America safe. He serves on the Small Business and Entrepreneur Committee. He shares my commitment to small business formation and expansion as the key to long-term economic growth and job creation. He is one who, obviously, we've seen him wage a national campaign, and he is a great, in terms of the way he talks about our values and the issues that matter to us, is an incredible asset to our party, to our country, and to the United States Senate. I am so appreciative that he has come back to Virginia to be with us here in Loudoun County this evening. Please join me in welcoming a great leader, a great man, Marco Rubio.
Get down. Get down from there. No. What are you doing up there? What are you doing up there? Get down. Get down. Can you take her down, please? Take her down right now. Get off the stage. Get off the stage. Get off the stage. Thank you very much. I want to thank, I got a great team that helps me out. That was perfect, the timing. Because I haven't given a campaign speech in about a year, so I'm a little rusty. I needed some warm-up time. So that thank you guys, but I appreciate it. So first of all, I thank you. I'm great. It's great to be here for Ed Gillespie, who I've known for so long. Actually, one of the things that I'm really excited about is your entire team of candidates that are lined up. This is a really exciting time, not just for Republicans, but for the Commonwealth. By the way, I learned that. I ran for president, and I learned it's the Commonwealth of Virginia. So, I actually learned that in school, but anyway. And I'm just really excited about it. But as you know, I work just down the road. And I love you, Marco. Thank you. And so anyway, but we, you know, my family spends time up here, and I've got the parking tickets to prove it. But anyway, that's a joke. I know I see cameras there. There's no outstanding parking tickets that they can prove. It's a rent-a-car. How do you know I have that? Anyway, I know this is a law and order campaign. I don't want to get out of trouble with it. But I'm excited to be here. Of course, after hearing your future governor speak, I started thinking about all those jobs he's going to try to steal from Florida. But I'm still going to help him. But anyway, but it's both your blessing and your curse. The blessing, you know, of being close to our nation's capital. And in a year like this, where there are no other elections, this is where everybody's focused on. That's a good thing, because it brings about, hopefully, the best in us in terms of the issues we're talking about. But here's where it's your curse. And they want to make these elections about all this other stuff. They want to make it about issues they want to talk about at some news studio in New York, or issues they're talking about on a Sunday show. This election isn't about all that. It isn't about the press corps in New York. It isn't about the press corps in Washington. It isn't about any of these things. This election is about you. And it's about your future. And it's about your children's future. And it's about more places like our host here today are going to exist. And whether they're going to be able to grow and provide jobs for people to help build our economy. It's going to be about whether you can be safe in your communities. Because without safety, if you aren't safe, you cannot be prosperous. That's what this election is about. It's about solving problems. And in order to solve problems, the people you have in government have to be people that are there to solve problems. And that's the one thing that I'm so proud to be associated with this campaign because of. I mean, Ed Gillespie has put out, was it now 20 specific policy proposals. 20. Not as many as Newt Gingrich, his wife, is going to be the ambassador to the Vatican, or is. He's going up there with 100 policy ideas for the Pope. But 20 is a lot. You know, that's the first thing they tell you in these campaigns. Don't put